When Georgie and Mandy's first marriage first premiered, fans of young Sheldon weren't entirely sure what to expect. A spin-off centered on Sheldon Cooper's older brother and his new family. It sounded like a risk. But by the time season 2 wrapped, it had done something extraordinary. It didn't just continue Georgie and Mandy's love story. It reignited the magic of young Sheldon and teased the possibility of the boy genius's return in a clever, emotionally satisfying way. Now, as fans dissect every frame of the season 2 finale, one thing is clear. A beloved young Sheldon tradition has quietly made its way back into the narrative. And that tradition may be the key to seeing Sheldon Cooper back on our screens sooner than expected. A full-circle ending, the return of the voiceover tradition. From its very first episode, young Sheldon used one powerful storytelling device to connect viewers with the adult Sheldon we knew from The Big Bang Theory, Jim Parsons' reflective narration. His voice turned everyday Texas moments into philosophical musings about family, faith, and science. In Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2, that nostalgic storytelling element subtly resurfaced. During the final scene of the season, as Georgie tucks baby Cease into bed, we hear a familiar tone, not from Georgie, but from an unseen narrator. The voice is Sheldon's, at least not yet, but it follows the same reflective rhythm that young Sheldon made iconic. It's the setup for something bigger, a bridge that could easily lead back to adult Sheldon in the future. This final voiceover talks about how family never stops surprising you, even when you think you've seen it all, echoing Sheldon's signature line from the young Sheldon finale, where he reflected on his family from afar. It's almost as if Sheldon's perspective is waiting to re-enter the story. Mandy's milestone moment and Georgie's growth. Season 2's emotional weight came from watching Georgie evolve. Once the mischievous teen of young Sheldon, he's now a father and husband learning that responsibility doesn't come with a manual. The finale highlighted this growth beautifully. Georgie took on a new job opportunity that might pull him away from home, but instead of running from the challenge, as his younger self might have, he faced it with maturity. Mandy, on the other hand, had her own arc come full circle. From struggling with the pressures of motherhood to balancing her career ambitions, she found her voice. In the finale, Mandy gives a heartwarming speech at a local event about building something together, even when you start from a mess. It was symbolic, not only of her relationship with Georgie, but of the entire Cooper family dynamic that began unraveling in young Sheldon's later seasons. This emotional maturity between the two feels like a love letter to how young Sheldon portrayed growth. And the quiet family moment they share at the end feels exactly like something that would lead Sheldon to pick up the phone or his laptop and reconnect. Why Sheldon's return now makes perfect sense. It's been a few years since young Sheldon ended, but the first marriage universe hasn't forgotten him. In fact, it's been planting breadcrumbs all along. From Season 1's Easter eggs, like mentions of Dr. Sturgis's new physics podcast and Missy's calls home, to Season 2's subtle callbacks, it's been clear that the Coopers remain connected, even if not physically present. The finale's biggest hint comes from a small but powerful moment. Georgie opens a letter postmarked California Institute of Technology, Sheldon's academic home. The contents aren't shown, but Mandy teases, "Your brother must be up to something big again." Georgie's chuckle and nostalgic reply, "He always is. Tell us everything." This is classic young Sheldon storytelling at work, implying rather than showing, letting the audience's imagination fill the gap. It wouldn't be far-fetched to imagine Sheldon reappearing in a cameo or voiceover capacity in a future season, or even headlining a special episode that bridges both shows. A tradition of reflection, the Cooper legacy continues. Young Sheldon ended with Sheldon realizing just how much his family shaped him. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage continues that theme through a new generation. Cease, their daughter, mirrors a young Missy with her spunky humor, while baby Joey, introduced in the finale, adds a new spark of hope for the Cooper lineage. The storytelling formula that worked so well in young Sheldon, heartfelt family lessons told through reflective narration, is slowly returning. Only this time, it could be Sheldon narrating his brother's story, rather than his own. Imagine hearing Jim Parsons' voice saying something like, When I left Texas, I thought I'd outgrown it. But watching my brother raise his kids, I realized Texas never really leaves you. That single line could pull viewers back into the Big Bang. Young Sheldon, first marriage continuum, completing one of the most unique intergenerational storytelling arcs in sitcom history. Meta connections, a shared universe done right. One of the things fans love about the Young Sheldon universe is its commitment to emotional continuity. While The Big Bang Theory was often about intellect, Young Sheldon and Now First Marriage are about heart. The Season 2 finale reinforces that the two can coexist beautifully. The callback to the voice of reflection isn't just nostalgia, it's strategy. By reintroducing this narrative style, the creators have given themselves a storytelling tool flexible enough to include any Cooper family member's perspective. It opens the door for Sheldon to narrate, for Missy to reflect, or even for Georgie to become the new family storyteller in later seasons. This tradition, rooted in personal growth and memory, isn't just what makes these shows special. It's what makes them timeless. Could Season 3 bring a Sheldon cameo? While nothing is officially confirmed, the hints are too strong to ignore. Jim Parsons, who also serves as an executive producer, has expressed interest in revisiting Sheldon in the right story context. A brief cameo, perhaps in a flash-forward or phone call, could deliver that satisfying emotional reunion fans have been craving. The First Marriage Season 2 ending leaves just enough unsaid. Georgie looks at the unopened letter again in the final scene, smiling softly before the screen fades to black. Cue that reflective music, and we're reminded, Sheldon may be far away, but his influence still shapes everything. If Young Sheldon was the story of a genius finding his place in the world, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is the story of the family that kept him grounded. And through that bond, a comeback feels not only possible, it feels inevitable. Final thoughts. The circle closes, but the story grows. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 2 manages to capture the humor, chaos, and warmth that made Young Sheldon beloved, while charting its own heartfelt course. Yet by honoring the Young Sheldon tradition of reflective storytelling, it does more than end a season. It reopens a universe. The finale isn't just about Georgie and Mandy finding balance as parents or partners. It's about the Coopers rediscovering each other through time, space, and memory. That emotional throughline, anchored by the signature narrative style, sets the perfect stage for the one Cooper who started it all to make his return. So when the lights fade on Georgie's quiet Texas home, and that familiar reflective tone fills the air, fans can't help but wonder. Maybe Sheldon Cooper isn't quite done telling stories yet.